everyone. I'm Deb Dietz with SMB Digital Education and FuteeTV. And today I'm here because I want to talk to you a little bit about the Circle of Life education campaign that we're launching on September 30th. And you may have seen my video yesterday where I shared some news about my husband of 40 years, Charlie, who passed away on Wednesday, 2 days ago, from Alzheimer's. And I wanted to just tell you a little bit about the Circle of Life education and tell you a little bit about the campaign. So, the campaign is really focused on educating people all over the world about the circle of life, from the beginning of life to the end of life. So, we're starting the educational campaign with a focus on pregnancy and parenting education. And we've worked with subject matter experts in childhood wellness, pregnancy, maternal and child health, infant care, and have put up about 48 videos about pregnancy and parenting on FuteeTV. Those 48 videos are already on Foodie, and you can watch them at no charge. So you can watch about your first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, working in, pregnant women in the workforce. We have videos about feeding your baby, breastfeeding, bottle feeding, formula feeding. We have videos about sleep training your toddler, everything from when you find out your pregnancy test is positive to sleep training your toddler and everything in between, your hospital experience, labor and delivery, how to manage pain during labor. It's a beautiful thing. All that education is currently available, and we currently have people from around the world watching those videos. We're also, as part of the Circle of Life educational platform, we're focusing on childhood reading and math literacy because it's a real issue with children around the world and their ability to read and write. And so we're going to be doing work in the metaverse and creating games that children can play to help them build their reading and math skills. And then we're focusing on teenagers and building life skills education for teenagers about problem solving, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, financial literacy, as an example. That's teenager life skills. And then, because everybody's working, and if you're a business professional, if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, you need to learn business management skills to help you be successful at work. And we already have hundreds and hundreds of hours of business education already available on FuteeTV. You can watch for free. And then we're moving forward into a lot of the health and wellness education as it relates to aging, caregiving, dementia and Alzheimer's disease, and the end of life, death and dying with dignity. So the Circle of Life education comprises everything from birth through the end of life. And our tagline is what you need to know. So this is fundamental education. It's what you need to know about these topics. As someone who had a husband who had Alzheimer's, I was uneducated myself. A lot of reasons for doing the Circle of Life education is inspired by my husband, Charlie. Beautiful man, married for 40 years. And I was completely unprepared for his diagnosis, his illness, his care. And I thought and then of course, he passed away 2 days ago. He died in our bed 2 days ago after an experience that was just a very, very difficult experience, not only for him, but for his family. And then the process of death and dying. I had some experience when my parents passed away. I lost my mother a year ago, but I lost my dad 12 years ago. So I had some experience with my parents on death and dying and hospice care and what you need to know about end of life, the process of your life ending and different kinds of burial and all kinds of things. I knew none of this. And I really knew nothing about dementia and Alzheimer's. but 1 out of 9 people over the age of 65 have dementia. 1 out of 9. And there are, I'm just going to look at some of my notes here because the statistics are staggering. Um, Over 55 million people globally live with dementia. 55 million people. In the US, there are 7 million people with Alzheimer's. 7 million people have Alzheimer's. Chances are you know someone who's been impacted, whether a parent, a spouse, a friend, a neighbor. Today, I was literally in my office in the kitchen getting a cup of coffee, and another office mate ran into me and said, "Oh, Deb, I haven't seen you in a while." And I haven't been in the office because I've been at home taking care of my husband. And so I said, "Oh, well, Charlie, I lost Charlie a couple days ago uh, to Alzheimer's." And he started telling me about all the people that he knows who have died of Alzheimer's or who are suffering with Alzheimer's. I mean, his mother had Alzheimer's. I mean, he's just a random person in the kitchen of my office building, grabbing a cup of coffee, and he's telling me about his mom. And then of course my husband's mother had Alzheimer's, and then my husband had Alzheimer's. There are things that you need to know. There's genetic testing that if you have a parent or a grandparent that suffered from dementia or Alzheimer's, there's genetic testing that you can do. And that's all part of our free online education on FuteeTV. So my point here is that the circle of life, it's a journey, right? It's a journey. It can feel overwhelming. Having a baby is a beautiful thing, but it can also feel overwhelming. There's isolation, there's uncertainty, but throughout life, knowledge is power. And so what the circle of life is going to do for you is guide you through life from the beginning of life to the end of life. And it's what you need to know. So it's just the facts. It's the facts. It's the science. And we work with subject matter experts on these topics. So it's not, I'm sitting in a room coming up with these topics and coming up with the content. No, we work with experts in those fields, maternal and child health experts who wrote a best-selling book about pregnancy and parenting. And we took their book and created 48 beautiful videos of that training. And again, that's already on FuteeTV. And we're working with experts on childhood reading and math literacy. We're working with experts on life skills for teenagers. People who are financial experts working with us on building financial literacy content and emotional intelligence and problem solving skills. And of course, we already have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos about business education, what you need to know about leadership, strategy, management, process, operations, social media, AI. A lot of those videos are already on FuteeTV. And then we're really focusing on the later parts of life, aging, what you need to know about aging and the changes that are going on. And of course, we're going to spend quite some time on dementia and Alzheimer's simply because it's an epidemic out there. You can't talk to somebody who doesn't know someone who is going through this, and it is vicious and cruel, not just for the person who is experiencing that illness, but for those who love them and care for them, myself included. And so, and then of course, the end of life, death and dying with dignity, what you need to know. What happens when you die? And what are the signs to look for? What is hospice all about? What kinds of burials? How to do, end of life planning? These are fundamental skills and tools you need to have awareness of. And Charlie inspired me to expand a lot of this education as the circle of life. And he inspired me because of his strength and what he went through and what I learned by him going through that and by me caregiving for him and me advocating for him. And so this is the final point I want to make today to all of you is this. You can't advocate or truly care for someone that you love if you don't have the knowledge and you don't have the information. I can't even begin to tell you how I had to battle with neurologists, neurosurgeons, healthcare practitioners, physical therapists, occupation, all these um, wonderful individuals who were caring for my husband. He spent a lot of time in the hospital. He had infections in addition to the dementia. He was having physical and occupational therapy. I mean, it was an ordeal, and he went through all of it. Subsequently, ended his life ended. But these are things that you need to know if you are a caregiver, if you are someone who is advocating for someone that you love. And it's in my mission here is to put it all up on Foodie TV and make it available. If you can watch it on television, you can watch Foodie on television. If you have a Roku TV, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV, you could watch our videos, our educational videos on those television that hardware. If you could download the Apple app and the Google Play app on your mobile devices, and if you're connected to the internet, you can watch it on our web player. So any connected device, you can have access to this education wherever you are in the world. And one of the things that makes this truly meaningful for me is when I watch, for example, the analytics of who's watching what where on Foodie, is to see people in sub-Saharan Africa who are watching the pregnancy to parenting videos. Because in sub-Saharan Africa, you have 300,000 women who are dying, in childbirth every year, and millions of babies are dying through the lack of access to education and care. And so, and they're watching these videos. Those are many, oftentimes the most watched videos on Foodie are those related to the beginning of life, the beginning of the circle of life, which is birth. Um, and then of course, since we've been posting the dementia and Alzheimer's videos and the death and dying with dignity videos, people are are watching those videos. They're seeing a lot of value there. And we're going to continue to do that. And that's what the Circle of Life educational campaign is all about, is to help us bring the right people forward, work with the experts in all those topic areas, and create all that educational video content and put it on Foodie TV for you to watch for free wherever you are in the world. So more is coming as we approach September 30th. Just wanted to share this information with you. Again, I'm Deb Dietz with SMB Digital Education and Foodie TV. Thanks for being with me today. Bye for now.